So now I welcome you all to this session on discrete mathematical structures. So the subject I will be handling is discrete mathematical structures. I am Ranji, HOD in CS. Hope you know me. I have taken professional communication last semester. Okay. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you? Hello? Okay, Anurag. Okay, Nivedita. Okay. So, the subject is discrete mathematical structures. So, before going on to the subject, I will introduce you the syllabus of discrete mathematical structures. Then, after that, we will start the class. Okay. So, before starting the class, I want to give some instructions to you, which you should follow it strictly. Okay. So this paper is about mathematical structures and purely it is related to mathematics. And as you can see, I'll share the syllabus with you now. I'll share my screen now. 1 minute. One minute, please. Okay, let me take the syllabus. Can you see the screen? Hello, can you see the screen? Okay, so look at the syllabus. So this is discrete mathematical structures and the code is MAT 203. Okay, it is a mathematics paper. And anyway, even if it is a mathematics paper, it includes concepts purely related to computer science. What all we need in computer science, the mathematical structures that we need in computer science is included in this syllabus. Okay, so the name is discrete mathematical structures, code is MAT 203. And this is a basic science course. BSc means basic science course, and you have 4 credits for this subject. And and it is a core paper. Okay, so mathematical structures. Even though it seems to be the name is mathematical structures, we relate it to computer science most often. Okay. Now looking at the syllabus, as you know, the syllabus has 5 modules. You have module 1. It is regarding the fundamentals of logic, and which is closely related to what you had studied in schools and all about the gates and or gates, etc. Which you will study in logic design also in this present semester. Then module 2 is about the fundamentals of counting theory, where we come across permutation, combination, etc., which again I think you might have studied in school. Then next is relations and functions, where we study about set theory and its relationships, etc. Then finally we have 4th module regarding the generating functions and recurrence relations, which may be new to you. And the 5th module is about algebraic structures. So these are the 5 modules, and then your textbook is Discrete and Combinatorial Mathematics by Ralph P. Grimaldi, and another book which covers most of the syllabus is Kenneth H. Rosen, and that is Discrete Mathematics and its application with combinatorics and graph theory. So this first book covers most of your topic. Okay, in the reference text, the first book in your reference books covers most of the topics. Is it clear to you? Is it clear to you? So you must take a print of the syllabus, okay, and study accordingly. Cover this. See that all topics are being covered. Okay. Is it clear to you? If you have any doubts, you can ask in between. Okay. Hello. Abhinand, is it clear to you? Hello. Abhinand is not there? Okay, so I just introduced the syllabus. There will be 5 modules in the syllabus covering 5 different topics. We have to study each module. We have to solve problems related to each module. And before coming to the class, and even when you are before starting the class, I want to tell you that you should have 2 books with you, 2 notebooks. One is your class book, and another is your tutorial book. Okay, you should have 2 small notebooks with you. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear what I'm saying? Okay, you should have one max notebook with you to write down the daily notes. Okay, even for online class as well as offline class, you will be writing notes in that book. Okay, I'll be dictating the sentences to be written in your notebook. You will have to write down the notes. Also, I will be solving questions. You have to solve the questions along with me. Is it clear? And then I will be giving you certain questions to do at home, and certain tutorial questions. These questions you will have to do in your tutorial logbook. Okay, and this logbook I will tell you to submit once in a week. Is it clear? Any doubts? Okay, so you will be having 2 books. Keep both the books nearby when you attend classes. Because in between I'll be dictating certain questions to be written in your tutorial book. So you will have to write down questions in that book, and later you have to solve it and submit the book. Okay, so both the books should be ready when you are attending the class. Your notebook should be there along with your tutorial notebook. Both these 2 books should be there when you are attending classes. Okay, is it clear? Any other doubt? Your internal assessment is the same as other subjects. You have 50 marks continuous evaluation and 100 marks end semester evaluation. Continuous evaluation and end semester evaluation will be there. Continuous evaluation will be for 50 marks, and just like last year, the total marks will be for 150, out of which continuous evaluation, that is internal evaluation, is for 50 marks, and external evaluation, that is the university exam, is for 100 marks. Usually it is 3 hours duration as per syllabus. Then attendance, out of this 50 continuous evaluation marks, and 10 marks is for your attendance. And attendance, you need a minimum of 75% to write the university exam. If you don't have 75%, then you become ineligible to write the exam. And also this mark is counted, this percentage. If you are getting more than 90% attendance, then you will be getting 10 marks, full 10 marks will be obtained. So see that you are getting maximum attendance so that you can score the whole 10 marks. Out of 50, you will be getting 10 marks if you are going to attend all the classes. At least 90% attendance if you have, then you will be getting 10 marks. Then next is continuous assessment. That is, we have here we have series test 1, 2 and 1 model exam that will be converted to 25 marks. And then we have continuous assessment through assignment, and that is for 15 marks. So teachers will be giving assignment, and you will be, when if you submit it correctly, then you will be getting 15 marks. So this 10 marks attendance and 15 marks assignment, you will get very easily if you're doing your work and attending classes. So you will be getting 25 marks very easily. Then the rest of the marks you have to score from your series exam. So I think you will have to score at least 35 in order to get a total pass of 75, because 40 marks is your pass mark for 100 for end semester exam. But continuous evaluation plus end semester evaluation, you need a total of 75 marks. So even if you score 40 marks for university exam, the remaining mark is 35, which you should score from your internal assessment. So minimum 35 is the criteria for you to get a pass mark in the university exam. So all of you should try to get a minimum mark of 35 out of 50 for continuous internal evaluation, out of which 25 you can score very easily if you are attending classes and submitting assignments, and the remaining 10 marks out of 25, at least 10 marks you should score from your series exam. Is it clear? Any doubt in that? So keep in mind that you need a minimum of 35 marks out of 50 in order to pass, to get a pass mark in the university exam. Okay, you need to get at least 35. If you are getting 34, then it will add up to 74 only, and you will fail. Okay, so your minimum of 35 marks is needed for internal evaluation, and out of which 25 you can score easily, and the remaining 10 marks only you need to score from. Not only it is the minimum mark that you should score from your series exam. You can score up to 25 marks, but see that you get at least 10 marks. Okay, is it clear to you? Any doubts for anyone? If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, now shall we start the class? Okay. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Okay, okay. Thank you. So now let us move on to what this subject means. That is discrete mathematical structures. So before that, let me take the Jamboard. Okay, 1 minute. So net is very slow. Now So now let us go on to this. Anyway, what do you mean by discrete mathematics? Have you heard of the term discrete mathematics? Have you heard of the term discrete mathematics? Anyone? Do you know what is the meaning of discrete mathematics? What is the meaning of the word What is the meaning of the word discrete? Nobody knows? Can you hear me? Hello? Akshara, can you hear me? Ajita? Alvin? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Alvin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Why there is no response? Isha? Gopika? Are you people there listening to the class or
Yes,
are
ma'am.
you just, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So if you're not responding, when I call out your names, if you're not responding, I will be marking absent, okay? This is a mathematics paper. If you're not going to continuously listen to the class, then it will be very difficult for you. So hope you have a notebook and a pen nearby you. You have to write down the notes, and finally, when I ask you to submit, you will have to submit both the notes as well as the tutorial book. Okay, so what is discrete mathematics? So discrete means, have you heard of whole numbers, numbers 1, 2, 3, etc.? You know whole numbers? Okay, so something which is not continuous, that is called discrete, something which is not continuous. So in discrete mathematics, we are dealing purely with whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, etc. We are not bothered about 1.5, 1.2, the rational numbers, okay? We are just going to deal with discrete numbers, that is whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Just the numbers we use for counting. Okay, we don't count 1.5 students, isn't it? In a class of 10, we say in a class of 63 students only. We don't say in a class of 63.5 students, isn't it? So we are just proofs that are related to, discrete numbers, and the theorems and proofs that are related to discrete numbers only. In this subject, discrete mathematical structures, we don't deal with continuous numbers, we just deal with discrete numbers like whole numbers which are countable, and then we'll study the theorems and proofs that are related to these discrete values. Okay, so did you understand the meaning of the term discrete? Discrete means something that is not continuous. Okay, is it clear? They are counting numbers. We are dealing with counting numbers. We are not the rational numbers or etc. If we take a sine wave, I hope you know what a sine wave is. The sine wave, it is a continuous wave, isn't it? So we have values from 0 to etc. 0, 1.1.1, 0.101x. These are the continuous numbers, and we don't want any continuous numbers. Here we purely deal with discrete numbers only. So though there are certain structures like set, graph, etc. that we use for studying the properties of discrete numbers. And these are the structures that we will be dealing with in this subject. Okay, why do we go for what is the importance of discrete mathematics in computer science? Do you know what is the importance of discrete mathematics in computer science? Can anyone say what is the importance of discrete mathematics in computer science? And we people are computer science subjects are more closely related to discrete mathematics. We have applications of discrete mathematics in our data structures, in our graph, in our algorithms, etc. So, can you give me an example of where we come across discrete values in computer science? Can anyone give an example? What are the discrete values that we use in computer science? Can you give an example? Anyone? Nobody knows it? Just guess something. The number. Yes, yes. Very good, Ashwin. Very good, Anurag. Binary numbers. We are dealing with the system. The entire system works on zeros and ones, isn't it? We have just 0 and 1 for representing the huge amount of data, like bits and bytes. We measure it in terms of bits and bytes, isn't it? Bytes. And these are nothing but just two discrete values, 0 and 1. We don't use 0.1 in our system. We don't go for 1.1, etc. We just deal with either a 0 or a 1. So these are the numbers. These are discrete values. They're not continuous. We are not going 0 continuously to 1, like 0.1, 0.2, etc. to 1. We are just either the data will be stored as a 0 value, or it can be stored as a 1. So that is the importance of discrete mathematics in computer science, because these structures help us to solve a lot of computer problems. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? Any doubt? Okay. So, hope you understood what discrete is. Anybody has any doubt in the term discrete? Since it's the first class, you should okay what the subject means. So now discrete mathematics. What is discrete mathematics? Discrete mathematics, it is a part of mathematics that is devoted to the study of discrete objects. Discrete object means it consists of distinct or unconnected elements. That is, there is no connection between one element and the other. There is no connection between. We are not going continuously from 0 to 1. Instead, they are independent values. Okay, they means they are distinct or unconnected elements. So discrete mathematics, it is a part of mathematics devoted to the study of discrete objects, and the term discrete means consisting of distinct or unconnected elements. Okay, discrete object means those objects that are unconnected. Like we can count values, like I'm taking a few of the random numbers like 2, 10, 15, 19, 100, etc. These are all unconnected values. But since they are independent values, we call it as objects, discrete objects. So in discrete mathematics, we deal with discrete objects only. And these discrete objects are nothing but independent elements. And in mathematics, we usually deal with digits only. Okay. Is it clear? So this discrete mathematics, it is used. Where do we use discrete mathematics? It is used whenever objects are counted. Like I want to count the number of students in a class. I use discrete mathematical structures to represent students as a set of, using a set, I can represent each and every student in a class. Then it is used when between, I want to study what is the relationship between the different sets. The set of students in CS department, the set of students in EC department, etc. I want to study the relationship between the different sets of objects. I use discrete mathematics again. And when we process, when a process involves a finite number of steps, that is, we have to stop within stop processing with a finite number of steps. Then we have to go for discrete mathematics. So these are the areas where discrete mathematics is used. So the importance of discrete mathematics in computer science. Importance in computer science is that information is stored as discrete values 0 and 1, that you already said, isn't it? The importance of discrete mathematics in computer science is that information is stored as zeros and ones, and 0 and 1 are two independent values. So we can consider it as discrete objects. Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello? Is it clear to you? Okay. Then, since we are storing at zeros and ones, it can be manipulated by our computing machine in a discrete manner, and it forms the foundation of computer science. Most of these subjects, like as I said earlier, data structures, algorithms. Then another important subject we have to study in computer science is automata theory, that you will study in 5th semester. Okay, then a database theory again you will study in 5th semester. So all these subjects, they cover discrete mathematical structures only. Okay, so that was an introduction to what discrete mathematics is. Is it clear? So do you have your notebook with you? Do you have your notebook with you? Then write down the head. Write down the heading, Introduction to Discrete Mathematics. Did you write? Did you start writing? In the end, I will tell you to read out, okay? Okay, then write the heading, the Introduction to Discrete Mathematics, and then give the heading, discrete, what is discrete math? This heading, discrete mathematics, and write the sentence. Discrete mathematics is a part of mathematics devoted to the study of discrete objects. Write the first sentence. Discrete mathematics is a part of mathematics devoted to the study of discrete objects. Okay. Did you write it down? Discrete mathematics is a part of mathematics devoted to the study of discrete objects. And next paragraph you can write, the term discrete means consisting of or unconnected elements. The term discrete means consisting of distinct or unconnected elements. Did you write that much? Did you write that much? Yeah. You didn't write? Just first two sentences enough, okay? This first two sentences enough. I want your note to be completed. That's why I'm telling you to write it down. Discrete mathematics. Give introduction to discrete mathematics as your first heading. Then subheading discrete mathematics, and then write discrete mathematics is a part of mathematics devoted to the study of discrete objects. Now, what is this discrete objects? Discrete objects means consisting of distinct or unconnected elements. Discrete means consisting of discrete or unconnected elements. The term discrete means consisting of discrete or unconnected elements. See, always you should have your notebook with you. Okay, in between I'll be dictating the questions also. You will have to solve and give back the answer. Okay, did you write it? Isha, did you write? Okay, so, and next line you write example, binary numbers. In the next line you write example, binary numbers. Because we computer science people, we are mostly dealing with binary numbers. So we can give an example, binary numbers. Is it clear? Did you write? So I will be taking class, and in between I will be dictating notes. So whatever I'm saying, you should write it down in your notes neatly. Okay. You should have your maths note ready. It should be neatly written. Usually students, they sit with pencil and scale and all, write down my notes along with the whitener. write it down. Without writing down, it will be difficult for you, okay? So did you write the example? What did you write, Akash, example? Ashwin, what did you write example of discrete objects? Which example did you write for discrete objects? Okay, very good. Binary numbers. Okay, Akash. Binary numbers such as 0 and 1, we can consider them as discrete objects, not continuous. Rest of the notes, this extra notes, I will be, and you can just read through the notes. Discrete mathematics, what is the importance of discrete mathematics and all that you can, this is just an introduction so that you can read it from Linbase. When I upload it, and I will be uploading the notes in Linbase, so you can write it down. But the notes which I dictate will be slightly different from what is written here. Okay, so you will have to write it down during my class. Now let us go on to module 1. What is the module 1 is related to logic system. That is the fundamentals of logic. Now what is logic? So next you write the heading module 1, fundamentals of logic. Next heading is module 1, fundamentals of logic. Did you write? Did you write the heading? Okay. So now what is logic? What do you mean by a logic? You have studied C programming, isn't it? In C programming, mostly we say what is the logic of the program, isn't it? So what do you mean by this logic? Logic is you are going to arrive at a conclusion. You are going to solve a problem and you are going to arrive at a conclusion. It is used for mainly for reasoning purpose. That is whether you have an output, whether you will get an output or not. That is whether something is true or something is false. So we have to apply some logic, some rules, and then we have to solve certain problems. So here also we are studying about logic solely. Logic, that is how to solve a problem using logic, and it is the basis. Logic is the basis of all mathematical reasoning. To reason about a system, to check whether a given statement is true or false, we use logic. And it is also used for automated reasoning. Automated reasoning is used in artificial intelligence to allow systems to reason by itself. So for automated reasoning, the mathematical structure that we use is the logic system of logic. Okay, so it is used for automatic reasoning also. And to understand mathematics, we have to understand what makes up a correct mathematical argument. That is whether, if I say, here this logic usually deals with values such as true or false. Okay, logic system usually deals with something that is an output. The output of the problem will be either true or false. So the logic system, we given certain sentences. Like for example, in our daily life, let us take an example. Like the sun rises in the east. Is it true or false? I'm giving you a statement. This is a statement, an English statement in our day-to-day life. And the statement is, the sun rises in the east. Is it true or false? True. I have only two values for that statement. The output can be either true or it can be either false. And such statements that can have either true or a false value is called a declarative statement. Okay, a declarative statement. It can be either true or it can be either false. So in logic system, we are going to model the real world statements like the English sentences into mathematical problems. And we are going to find out whether it is true or whether it is false. And that reasoning process is what is done in mathematical logic. So we are reasoning. Since you are a human being, you have brains to think. That's why you have told me an answer that it is true. But how can computers reason with these statements? That is what we are going to do in mathematical logic. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? So we are going to reason, we are going to study how a computer or a system can reason about the real world problems. Like the entire module deals with giving in English statements, converting it into mathematical equations, mathematical problems, and then finding out whether that statement, the English statement that we had given, is true or false. And the entire module that deals finding out whether something is true or false is known as mathematical logic. Is it clear? And the reasoning that is used is called the logic. The reasoning applied in order to derive at a conclusion that can be either true or false is called mathematical logic. Is it clear? So in this module, we will be giving a lot of statements, convert those English statements into mathematical variables, and then we find out whether each of these variables is true or false. Is it clear? Is it clear to you? So you can write the first sentence. Okay, logic is the basis of all mathematical reasoning and all automated reasoning. Logic is the basis of all mathematical reasoning and all automated reasoning. Hope you had written module 1 fundamentals of logic. After that, you can write just the first sentence only. Logic is the basis of all mathematical reasoning and all automated reasoning. And this mathematical, to reason with mathematics, we have mathematical arguments. And if the argument is correct, then we call it as a proof. If the mathematical argument is correct, we call it as a proof. And once the statement is proved to be true, then we call it as a theorem. If a statement is proved to be true, then we call it as a theorem. Okay, if a mathematical argument is correct, we call it as a proof. And when a proof is true, then we call it as a theorem. Then we use proofs to verify computer programs are correct, to show that algorithms always produce the correct result, and create artificial, mainly this logic is applied for artificial intelligence only, and to establish the security of the system. So these are the areas where we use mathematical logic. And the main reason to study this is for automated reasoning systems, to develop automated reasoning systems, and which allows computers to construct its own proof. Computer will reason about the arguments or the statements that we had given, and it will give us a conclusion. Okay. And this will provide, this logic will give a lot of rules. We feed that rules to the system, and the system will give us the results. So these notes, you can just read it in LinBase. Okay, just write the first sentence for the time being. Logic is the basis of all mathematical reasoning and all automated reasoning. The rest of these statements you can study from the notes which I uploaded. This note will be uploaded in LinBase. You can study from that. Okay. Now, next write the heading, branches of logic. Now, mathematical logic. What are the different branches of logic? Next heading is branches of logic. I'm only dictating the important points which you should know, okay? Did you write the next heading? So I think time's over, isn't it? So the next today I have another class. So 4th hour, I think so, 3rd or 4th hour. So I'll be continuing then. You should be ready with your notebook. Any doubts? Any doubts regarding what I had taken so far? See, your notebook should be complete. You should follow what I am saying. Okay, clearly, if you follow, then you will be able to continue without break. Continue studies without break. Okay, continue your portions without break. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. So, roll number 1.
Present.
2.
Present.
3.
Present.
4. Agam. Okay. 5.
Present, ma'am.
Ahila.
Present, ma'am.
5. Okay. 6.
Present, ma'am.
You can continue your numbers. You say your number 6, then
Ma'am.
7.
8.
Number 7, 8. Okay. 9.
9,
Akshara.
10.
11,
12.
12.
13,
Anujit.
12%.
Okay.
13,
Okay.
14,
14.
14,
Okay.
15.
15. Okay.
16.
Okay.
17,
Okay.
18,
18. Okay.
19,
Okay.
20,
Okay. 21. Ashwati. Okay.
21,
Okay. Next.
22,
Okay.
22,
Okay.
23,
24.
24, 24,
Number 24. Okay. Devika. 25. 25. Fatima PK. Okay. 26.
26,
Okay. 28. 28. Fatima Shiblia. Absent.
29,
31.
32.
33.
33. Number 33. Okay.
34,
Okay.
35.
Okay.
36,
Okay.
37,
Okay.
38.
Okay.
39.
Okay. 40. Mohammed Sahal. Absent.
41.
Okay.
42.
Okay.
43.
Okay.
44.
Okay.
45,
Okay.
46,
Okay.
47,
Okay.
48,
Okay. 49. Sahila Noora. 49 absent. 50. 50. Sarang. Absent. Sarang. Okay. 50 present. 51.
51.
Okay. 52.
52.
Channel.
52.
Okay.
53.
53.
54,
53. Sean in
55.
53. Okay. 54 present. 55. Siddharth.
55.
Okay.
50.
Okay.
57.
Okay.
58.
Okay.
59,
Okay. 60 Vignesh. Okay. Then 61.
62.
63,
And 63. Celia.
63, 63,
Okay. 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 So absentees number 49, number 40, and the number 28. Okay. Hello. Number 28 absent. Hello, number 28 is present? Okay. So thank you. Join for next class, okay?